We would like to welcome our first speaker, Mr. Toni Ramchandani. Toni Ramchandani is Vice President at MSCI Inc. Tony would be delivering a hands-on session, Agentic AI testing, building your first automation agent. To know more about Tony, please check the below link. Over to you, Tony. Thank you.
Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hey, thank you for having me and welcome everybody. I think you might have like known already a lot about ATA GTR. So, um, since we have 1 hour, and to be honest, for agentic AI topic like this, which is pretty less, so I'll quickly, without wasting my time, I'll or your time, I will quickly share my screen and start having the discussions. Okay, let me know once you see my screen. Is it yes, no, whatever? Okay,
Yes,
I see a thumbs up. Okay, so yeah, so I think about me, I'm little bit what described. I'm just to add there, I'm more of a passionate technocrat. Um, I love to, understand technology and break technology as much as I can. So that's about me. Apart from that, I'm quite enthusiastic for cycling and adventurous activities whenever I get time. Um, so yeah, that's about me. Uh, you can read more information on the page which um, these guys have already shared with you. Okay, so I'll quickly go from here. In the meantime, if you have any questions like how was the session, so we'll take at the end. Um, so we all know, like I don't have to define generative AI. Everybody knows about generative AI, right? So in a nutshell, it learns from patterns from vast amount of data. Generative AI, what I can add more is it's nothing but some probabilistic mathematical distributions, okay, like Gaussian distribution, and there are certain variants of Gaussian distribution as well. Some of the well-known mathematicians, I don't remember that their names. So they sometime back, like 1800 or 1900, in those years, they created those distributions, like how the probability is distributed, and on those grounds, somehow AI is built. AI is built on top of that, right? So these data patterns are nothing but probability distributions that are learned from your data. Now, in a way, that is a small definition. Generative AI, might be more than me, that it generates stuff from what it had learned in the past. Every model has its vocab, vocabulary, and from that only it generates the data. This you may not know. So, so for example, ChatGPT, they did not explicitly mention what is their vocab number. It could be 17,000 or 18,000. That a speculation. We don't know. But the point of vocab is, what I'm trying to convey over here is it only generates from that vocab. It is not going to generate beyond that most of the times. But those 18,000, 70,000, by and large covers the whole internet. So that's why it's getting pretty good, or it's pretty good so far. In future, maybe model collapse stuff is happening wherein transformer models are coming to its limitations, and data generation is almost stopped. Like you are making copies using AI, and then you are um, making the models learning on that particular um, data which is generated from AI already, right? So it's kind of, some people call it as garbage in, garbage out. That's where generative AI is heading at times. At times, we see some of the new inventions which are happening, which are helping us. Okay. Um, so this is about, in a nutshell, what is generative AI, where it is going on. Now, every day you wake up in the morning, you will realize that some or the other new hype word has been created in the market, and then either people are confused or people cannot simply follow it. People just leave it. So you can put people in those buckets, either scared, unaware, or I mean, without even knowing, they are just cautious that what exactly is happening here, so on and so forth. I see a pre-core
Yeah,
name raised.
yeah.
Please,
I
let me
just
take.
I would request you to put it on presentation mode, please, so the
Okay.
slide is clear. Yeah, thank
Oh, I'm
you. Sorry.
sorry. I did not realize that. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I
Thank you.
thought, yeah. Let me know if it is visible in presentation form. Otherwise, I'll reshare that.
Not yet. I can see some setup right now. Not your PPT.
Is it?
It's
i-
yeah. Now it's showing. It's on the intro page where you are featured.
Can you see the presentation now with what
Yes,
is
yes,
generative AI
yes.
slide?
Now we can see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
this.
Fine. Thank you for highlighting. I just completely missed that part. Okay. Sorry for that. Yeah. And so far we discussed what is generative AI and all those things. Now I was coming to agentic AI, but before that, I just wanted to give you this picture, real picture, wherein people are just hearing out new word every day. MCP, agentic AI, AI agent, A2A protocol, language specific protocol. So what exactly is happening? We don't know most of the times, and we all know like some people are calling it as AI bubble. Some people are calling it no, it will help. So my take is it's financially could be a bubble, but technologically it's not a technological bubble. Okay, this is going to make progress slowly and steadily. Even internet took 20 years. It may take 10 years at least to just be where internet is today. But the point is, technologically, AI is mostly not going anywhere. Maybe financially, the bubble may burst or not. I am not sure. Okay, that is the financial angle, economic angle. So we'll just leave that aside. Um, Now you can see at the trend, Google Trends. Now this is taken um, mid, I think somewhere October. This graph has been taken. So you can see um, there is steady increase in these AI agents and agentic AI terminologies. And all of a sudden, you see a dip over there because then MCP was making the new trend, and then MCP was gone down, and Claude Skill and etc. They just started hyping around. Okay, but so this is going to remain same. But agentic AI or AI agents are basically nothing but our functional programs which we used to have are being used by the AI, okay, instead of a man or a human. Okay. Um, so that is a very basic definition of AI agent. So the AI agent that in real or digital work do things for you. Okay. So that's an agent. Okay, that's an AI agent because we are using AI as a brain rather than a human brain. And what is agentic AI? You tell the goal. Okay. For example, you want to buy some grocery. Okay. And for that, you have to go to, let's say, four different stores to buy all the grocery for the month. And you just give the goal. Let the system decide where to go, what to buy, what is the cost, where I'll get free stuff or less costlier things, and then where is good stuff or not, whatever we do in our day-to-day course. So that is going to done by AI with a goal in mind. Okay, that's how it is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time defining these terminologies. So this history you may know. If you don't know, you can read about it. But the the wholesome picture of this is like we see everybody's interested in AI. Not now, it's 90s, somewhere 90s, and then just because compute and data was not sufficient, data storage capabilities were not that up good that time. So now, which we see, is getting better, and that's why we see this trend over there. Okay. Um, so agentic AI is basically evolved from our rule-based agents, which we used to code, right? If else, or on top of it, some rule-based libraries like Python rule engine was created. So in a way, those are agents itself, but you need to specifically program that. And over here, you don't have to program a lot, but you need to just give it a goal. Okay. If I had to fit them together, then generative AI is kind of the bigger block, and then agentic AI sits on top of it. And AI agent is a small piece of it, which is an, let's say, an individual coworker who is low on the lowest on the radar. Okay, but that is the ground worker basically. Now, I'll quickly talk about how we came from generative AI to agentic AI. Okay, and um, and the end goal is I mean AGI or ASI. Okay, super intelligence or general intelligence. At least for now, the general intelligence has been chased. Okay, so and agentic AI being one step towards that goal. Um, so first we understood that uh, generative AI definitions, then capabilities. Um, so then if we move, like if evolution happened and then we are into agentic AI phase where model reason just like a person do, store memory so that context are good, and most of the time you hear that you need to provide context engineering become a buzzword. In vibe coding you have to be very context oriented, right? Most of the things have came into the practice. Tools like what if so humans are basically very love tools a lot. Even in stone ages they used to make stone based tools, and then slowly and steadily machine based, and now in computer space, these people are using software tools. Okay, and then interacting the communication that happens, and then the evaluating and the specifying that okay what we wanted was achieved or not. Now, challenges towards AGI, like there's a lot of challenge. Okay, because we all know like AI has its limitation, it hallucinates, it just doesn't follow instructions correctly. So there are a lot of challenges to the AGI, and that's where they are using these hype words so that their market becomes in good pace. Okay, their shares are up to the mark, performing well. They said GPT-5 will become a next step to AGI, but it failed in a miserably over there. Yeah, so I have spoken a lot on this slide. I'll come on the understanding of, most of the times like 95% of AI agents or AI basically projects are failing in the real world. Mostly because just they are following buzz around. Okay, okay. Not in a real world, if you try to solve real problem, that only will sustain. Nothing else sustains. Okay, a good flashy demo. Okay, few claps and you are done. But it is not going to sustain unless you probably solving a real good problem with any tool, be it AI or not. Okay. So what exactly is happening? Why these 95% of projects are failing? Because they are just following the news and then doing something from POC and showcasing their teams or public that okay, this is how we did this. But in reality, they are not solving any problem. Okay, they are just doing a demo around what is came into the market, and that's why people are saying that 90% of AI projects are failing because they don't have a clear real world problem which they want to solve. Okay, what is basically an agentic AI? In a way, uh, you allow system to interact with your environment, plan, then according to that plan you act. When I say you, I'm referring to the agent, and then the agent reflects what is happening. If I need, so for example, if I say to you that go and buy some fruits, okay, So your plan would be, okay, I'll take a taxi from here, then um, I'll have some credit card or whatever. I'll just use that. If that person does not have that machine, I'll give him cash, right? So that's what you're planning, and then you are acting upon it. And then you are reflecting. Oh, you started going out, but you realize that your vehicle is not doing good. So that is a reflection now that you will choose some alternate way or you don't go. And then if you choose alternate way, then you go and look at your kitty that what tools I have. Maybe I'll book a cab, I'll book an auto, or maybe you'll go walk or something else, right? So in that case you have those tools. Once you reach the store, you will realize, okay, he is only accepting cash, you don't have cash. So what is your tool? Your tool is debit card, credit card, accordingly, and you can either deal with it. And memory. So whatever we are doing, it's if the context is not stored, then you will forget why you like went out of the house, right? So for that, memory is very critical aspect. There are a lot of memory frameworks like Mem0 came into the market, and which are doing good. Memory frameworks are nothing but your vector databases which are storing information. Last I think in one of the session I covered around vector databases. Environment interactions, and then collaboration, and then the final output. Okay, this is how your agentic AI operates in a nutshell. But I seriously want to to uh, tell over here that, or a disclaimer that if you only solve the real world problem, this will help. Otherwise, again, it's a flashy demo. Nothing works in production environment. Okay, and now um, to support your agentic framework, prompting techniques have been gone in a way which that should ideally support this system, just like humans do think, and that's your prompt. Okay, in a way, chain of thought. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but if you know, like dividing a problem in small steps and then um, putting thought on every aspect of it. Graph of thought. Like sometimes we do parallel reasoning and plan multiple sub goals in parallel. So that's graph of thought. Okay, and tree of thought, and there are off thoughts, a lot of off thoughts you will see. Program of thoughts where agent write code to reason. Okay, this is more of a agentic prompting in a way. Tree of thought where you have decisions. As I said, I mean your vehicle is down now. What you will do? So you have tree of thoughts that what you do next. Okay, if you go Google it, you will find a lot of examples. You might have used many of it in your real world as well, but if you don't know the definition, then you can read about it. And by the way, if anybody is telling you that he's teaching you prompting and he's not covering these kind of portions, that means shouldn't go there. Okay, in a way. Um, how we evolved, another way to express, in a way, this is prompting itself in a way. Input, then we got the output. uh, then we give input like chain of thoughts, then divide our prompt or thoughts in multiple prompts, and then give, and then we expect the final thought. This is a graphical representation of last slide, and this is input and then branching tree of thought, then forest of thoughts. Like it's a hybrid combination of everything. And then graph of thoughts is majorly programming is used, and parallel thought processing. It goes more complex in forest and graph of thoughts. Now, um, what and how we have these agentic frameworks. So basically, you might have heard of LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI, AutoGen. Okay, there are a lot of frameworks which are available in the market. Single agent frameworks are LangChain, basically simple chains. They you can create and then you can work along that. Um, and In some cases, if you want to use multi-agent, then Crew AI, LangGraph. LangGraph is getting, by the way, it's getting a lot of um, interest in amongst the people. Okay. And there are many more which may not be written over here, which is okay. Like, but majorly these are the ones which are widely used. And then um, we are going to cover crew AI over here. So basically, what happens is crew AI is you give a task, and then this you form a crew of agents, and they will do the things so that you get the desired output. Okay, and in between, like it's autonomous agent. Um, this same could have been done with LangGraph, and but yeah, but I use crew over here. LangGraph I liked a lot because when I was so basically what I did was I had a use case at hand, and I just created this. And over there, I think I was good with Crew AI at that point of time. And then LangGraph was just breaking the ground, but it was not stable at that time, so we did not go with that. But LangGraph, I seriously say that it's far better choice in today's world. Now, what we are going to do today in demo, I'll quickly go there. I'll just cover over here that what I'm going to show you is user enters the URL, then your Selenium agent get activated. Data is passed to different agents. One is industry analyst agent, front end security agent, and summary briefing agent. Okay, I am, by the way, not very good with security testing or cyber security by far, but this I could do a bare minimum with the help of one of my friend, who is the security expert. And this was just one piece of the puzzle in our very big solution which we were creating, wherein we wanted to do automatic security, okay, with the help of AI agents. And on the internet and everywhere, I was not finding good and true agentic solution. Everybody was just a lot of Udemy courses, and I just refer few of them, and I realized no, they are just passing the ball in a way, mm, just like that. Okay, there is no practicality into those courses available, and etc. So just researched a lot on this and then came up with this, and this runs very well in production today. um, then we have like Selenium agent is majorly for to provide us the page source. Okay, and then these industry agents we have provided with different tools like Exa tool. If you don't know Exa tool, this very good web search tool with kind of an API way. Okay, and then front end security agent is going to analyze our all HTML, JSS, CSS, CSP, security.txt file which every website possess or have. Okay, it's mandatory for them to deploy that. And again, I'm not that good with that terminology, so just don't bash me for that. Summary and briefing agent, just like a reporting one, very normal, which tells us that what are the vulnerabilities and what are the compliance issues over there. And then we see the final report over there. Um, so this is what I'm going to show you today. Okay, and I'll quickly go to the demo. But before that, if you want to connect, these are some of the websites or some of the information where you can connect with me. This is AI generated picture. So I trained a model on my pictures. This is not by Gemini. So or um, whatever chat GPT or something. So I trained a model on my pictures, and that's how it is generated from that. I know I'm not that slim. So yeah. Okay. So I'm using Google Colab here. From here, I'll just quickly run the demo. I have executed already because it is going to take more than 1 hour time to execute this code, and that's why I have already executed this. Um, what I'm going to install is LangChain Grok, just to access Grok models. Okay. And by the way, you can use any model for that matter, OpenAI and whatever you want to use. In this case, I experimented with Grok and OpenAI. So I am installing Crew AI, um, DuckDuckGo search just in case if I need, but otherwise I have Exa tool as well. Again, this Exa tool is for um, searching just like your Google search or DuckDuckGo search works. So and then LangChain Grok, I already mentioned. Beautiful Soap, you may already know because you come from testing background, automation background, most probably. But if you don't know, it's for scrapping the websites. And then Google Colab Selenium. So this is one of the good library, which is because we usually work in notebooks like Google Colab or Databricks notebooks. So Google Colab Selenium is a way to go library. You can directly use Selenium over here in this piece, and it works without browser. It works well, and that's why we wanted to go ahead with this. You can use Playwright as well if you want, but you just need to hack around that how and what requirements you need to install that. Okay, in Colab or any Databricks notebook, and then I'm just checking which version of mine and who. So if you run any command pip show library name, it will give you the details around that. Very much details like whom to contact and what is the website. If the user or creator has provided, then whatever information he provided will be seen over here. Then I'm installing OpenAI as I said. I mean, you can use any of the framework. um, for Exa tool, it's an API key you need, just like OpenAI API key or Grok API key. So just make sure that you have into the environment variables. I'm just setting up here. Now from here, my web page crawling or network logs getting from Selenium starts. Um, in this case, you need to. So by the way, in the real world, I have created a small UI on top of it so that you don't the users don't see this kind of code. But yeah, because you are more technical, so I wanted to go from here, and that's this is important, not that. So enter the URL. So I'm just passing medium.com. I for testing purposes, I just pass medium.com. Okay. Then usual imports. You all know how imports work in Python or any other programming language, so I'll just keep that part. And then desired capabilities. You know very well if you have used Selenium. If not, please read out about it that how we can set the desired capabilities. Especially, I want the logging part here. So if you have not read about logging, what else we can log, you can go and add over here if you want. Okay. What I did was I wanted to see performance log and the browser logs, all of them. Okay. And then I launched my browser. This browser you may not see because as I said, it's a ghost browser kind of way it's working. No head browser. And then the code is pretty simple. I'm just calling the URL over here, driver.get method. And then I'm just storing the source, SRC page source. And then I'm storing the network logs, and then I'm closing that. That's it, done. Selenium part is done over here. So I'm for now I have all the logs which I needed for my security testing. Okay, and now I have to pass these logs. So obviously, I mean the best way in programming is JSON for now. So whatever I need, I have created buckets for it. You can add more buckets. I wanted HTTP request resources, web view actions. Again, if some of you are security testers or working in cybersecurity, you may know better, far better than me than in this space, right? So just be open to add if you want, or whatever experiment or extract the meaning from log string. So basically, this method is going to create different buckets that what worked well and which data belong to what. Okay, just in case if there's corrupt data, then how to deal with that corrupt data or where to store that data. It's pretty simple method, very simple programming method, which is parsing my HTTP request and responses. Okay, and then um, all my events which are fired in DOM or load event fired, I'm going to store in the web view actions list basically in Python or array. You do that. Uh, I mean, I'm just doing a distribution of my data in a way I can have it very easy to understand and easy to read. Okay. And then I'm going to create a method which is going to analyze all my requests. So basically, you already know if you run a web page, it's not only one HTTP link you are hitting. Okay, in the background, there are hundreds or tens or thousand at times, depending upon what you are accessing. Those requests are, made for every, for example, your CSS or JS, which has been called, they call through in a way HTTP form, and then any logo and everything which is available on their server, any images. So a very heavy website may have this HTTP, more HTTP requests like Amazon or Flipkart, um, right? So you might be knowing this. And what I'm going to go here is I'm going to store all the information, which all the URLs, because cross sites scripting, right? That's what I wanted to validate from this. So I want to understand how many URLs were called and how many were, was failed because of 403 or 400 or 500, anything. So beyond 400, I want all them with their status code to be ready in my list. Okay. And then I have created a method which is going to analyze all my network data. And this analysis, again, I'm going another step down, drilling down, and I'm putting all the exact matches and trying to put most of the information like header and initiator. So if any, again over here, how my data was there, any request from HTTPS or HTTP was made. Okay, what were the headers? If any unsafe inline and unsafe eval values were present in my calls, HTTP calls or not. If X frame options are there. By the way, in security, most of the time the security breaches are done from the embedded URLs or the frames, and and any other script which is may not be pointing to the right resource and at times unknown, right? So majorly those are the ways where hackers find way out to um, enter and do some experimentation on using cybersecurity skills. um, and then what I did so far, I have stored everything in the dictionaries, okay, at times list or however. So resource count may be the right object to store them is a dictionary, and third party domain a list, and then number domains, again those are in the form of dictionary or list. I need to see the variable, but yeah, but this is how I'm just storing them, and I'm everything which I have now, I'm keeping it in a total variable. Not a good choice of name, but yeah. And then I printed what exactly I have stored so far. So you can see this, a lot of information from medium.com. So this all information I got from medium.com when I executed this. And again, on the similar side, total have all the information available, like which all resources coins unknown were 42, document was one, image was one, from where the image is coming, and this is, I'm not sure, the CDN information of them, a blob where their data is stored could be, and I mean, not good with that with those terminologies, but so this is giving us all the information which I needed, okay, in this particular shape or form. Now I have all the network data. Now I'm going to analyze my network data. Again, so there's a lot of processing which I'm doing over here. If you see automation work only was that two, three codes of line where I just extracted my data for information. And then I have another method which is going more and analyzing more around the logs, because um, when I was talking to my friend, he told me that we need this kind of data in this shape or form. He is basically expert in cybersecurity, so he was telling me, and that's where I created the methods following him, and I did my research as well. So this is how it comes from the network. If you have used Google Chrome, in your network tab you will see all the information, but not directly. You need to extract that in a way it directly comes in very raw form. So we are again looking for these methods, and if header contains set cookie or not, network responsive received extra information or not. So there's a lot. When you read about security, you will understand all these relevant terminologies. Okay. So response received and all the security details. Again, I am just putting, so I'm over here. What I'm doing is I'm analyzing them in the network issues. in a way that what all issues we found, we want in the form of list so that we have everything in place. Now, since we have everything stored now, I'll use simply the beautiful soap to have my HTML parser, and which basically over there I'm getting all the information, which are links, which are input, which are form, which are scripts. What it is giving me is, if you have seen, there is no label or span or something like that where user will interact all those information, because that's the only way, right? User has will be acting on the website. So all those possible things where user will interact will be in this shape or form. You can add more, like somebody may argue that there's a text area and all those things. Feel free, go and add, please. Okay. And then I have all the now necessary information which is available. And for now, my observations are like this. Okay. And and I have another search engine, search extra tool. This now this tool I'm going to use for my agents. And I have created a class, and I'm using LangChain's agent tools, because these I'm creating tools with LangChain agents. So you see, it's a multi-agentic framework in a way, but Crew AI being our major autonomous framework over here. Okay, and I'm using very simple definition. So if you have to use any tool, then you need to mark it with annotation @tool, and then I have created one search tool, search the web page based on the query, search and content. Okay, and get content. So these will give me all the information, relevant information which I need. And then I created a tools method which will give me access to all these tools which we curated. And then we have an API key which will be I'm explicitly setting up. So you go on the EXA website, you can create the EXA API key. Now I'm setting my LLM. So Chat, OpenAI, Grok, Claude, whatever you have, right? I've tried with these options as well, Llama model. Um, but for this, I used GPT-4o Mini. It will cost you low as well, and with vision capability. So I thought this is a better choice. And again, beyond that, I think the models are not that good. I kept temperature zero because, see, the importance of temperature being zero is very critical over here. We don't want our AI model to hallucinate at all. If you can keep point one as well. Um, um, by the way, if you don't know temperature, how temperature works, so I can talk more about it internally, but not today, some other day. It's temperature is nothing but a probabilistic function, um, which is inversely proportional to the vocab or something like that. There's a lot of information around temperature as well, but let's leave it for now. Now I'm creating my agents over here. Um, I'm calling Crew AI agent, and then see the tools I have created using LangChain tool, because it's a very straightforward use. I think Crew AI also provides that, but what I wanted was very simple. So I stick to LangChain over there. Um, and then I'm creating an agent. One is industry analyst. I've told you in previous slides. This is going to uh, understand the current industry measures, security protocols, which are with respect to your industry standard. Now, this is a very important point, right? Um, Security standards may change with respect to your time, right? So that's why you have to have one agent who is constantly learning about those measures which are updated or across industry. So this is a prompt for that, and pretty simple. I'm assigning the LLM. Don't go by Llama 3. I've just Llama 3 was the method. I should have changed the name over here, but by Llama 3, I'm using OpenAI. Okay, just a variable name. Don't get confused. Purpose equal to true because I want all the information. I want as much explanatory as possible. Okay, and then I have a front-end security agent. Now I'm using XR tools over here, which we assigned, and then I'm giving a prompt, simple prompt, and that is more resonant towards the cybersecurity. May not be that simple, but yeah, if you know this little bit of cybersecurity, you can write such prompts. Um, by the way, for any agent, you assign a role and assign a goal as well. In this case, My goal is for this agent is to check for the security breaches on the front end website and describe them in great detail. Okay, this is the simplest goal of this agent. Similarly, analyze current instances. I told you already. Okay, and then role goal, and then which tools you are providing access to. Right. So in this case, I'm giving all the tools which we have created to all. So by the way, you can skip them and you can whatever you want to give basically in a way, right? The good idea is to give only relevant tools for the relevant agent. Okay, and then network security agent over here, I'm again providing all the access of the all tools because those are relevant. Ideally, you should not give all the tools to all the agents because it will chances of hallucination or may increase. So sticking to the plan, sticking to simplicity is way to go. Okay, it's your, and then we have again this network security agent which is going for the understand the network communication of website, and by this we already have the data as well to analyze now. So here we will provide the URL, and then it may use extra tools to go and check all the relevant information. Summary and briefing, it's very simple, it's kind of reporting you do. So now I'm defining these agents. So over here, I have created these agents. Now I'm defining my agents. Okay. Now what happens? What is defining? Sorry, defining task. What is defining agent and what is task different? Okay. So far, we have given information. Okay. You are X person with this information, with this knowledge, with these tools. Okay. But now what you need to do? Okay, you have given the goal. Okay, you need to do this, but your exactly task will be what? So that is what we are going to define. Okay, this is your goal, but the what in that goal as well, what small task I expect from you, okay, is um over here you create a simple class, you can name it anything. Research task. My first task for would be research task, wherein I want agent to use any crew AI to use any of the agent and perform this task. Okay, with respect to whatever will be applicable. So it's autonomous way, and has as a result, um, it will by own select choice of its tool and choice of agent. Okay, what I want from them is what I've given over here. What I expect from this is I detail report summary key findings about security measures and company highlighting security protocols, so on and so forth. Okay, asynchronous execution, I have kept it false because I want a synchronous execution. I want everything to be together. Um, I mean, at times you will see it's true. In those cases, again, with respect to your task, you can do that, and then another task would be full analysis of whatever logs and everything on the URL which we have provided. The context being we have already created certain buckets of list and dictionaries which we are going to provide. Now, this is a very big prompt which we have given as a task that what exactly and how exactly we need. So you need to include CAPTCHA, you need to include error handling, JavaScript, security, so on and so forth. You can add more as per your knowledge. Robots.txt and security.txt being uh, one of the way to breach security. So you can check for their existence, and if it is not there, I think um, there are some known methods to attack the website. And then what my expected outcome is in this shape or form. This prompt is for that. Okay. Um, Over here, asynchronous execution is true because your website may take time to load. Your website or data may take more time than this particular task or something like that. Okay, there could be multiple agents performing actions, so that's why I want it has to be, it should be asynchronous is true because I don't want to break things. Take your time, do your study, do your understanding, and then come to me. Don't hurry just because you want to do the synchronous execution. Now there is another task for the network analysis, and over here, similar to that, what I want this in this task is a detailed prompt that if any authentication and authorization required, implement MFA, if needed, secure endpoints, so on and so forth. A big prompt. You can read this prompt and you will understand it's very self-explanatory. Um, and then what is the task I'm giving to this agent is this one. Okay. Over here, I was not worried about asynchronous or synchronous way. So I've kept it um, default, which is asynchronous is false. Okay. Or asynchronous is true. Sorry. By default, asynchronous being true. And then this is pretty simple that I want the summary and report of everything. Okay. Now, since I have created agents, created tasks, goals, tasks, everything is defined, I am assembling all my crew and to run the crew. So I'm using crew AI. Agents and tasks are already defined. I'm just highlighting with the variables task and agent over here. And then I'm just simply assigning over here in this particular thingy. The methods are already created under agent class and task class. So I'm just giving them assignment and passing the whatever the context we created, network context, code context, and the URL. And over here we have the summary and briefing agent. Um, then having under all them in the same crew. So how you define crew AI basically is you need to call this class crew and then give the agents which you have created and give the task which you wanted these agents to do. Okay. So far, what we have done is we have created everything. Now, we created agent, we created task, we given them goal, we given them everything which they wanted, all the information, the context which we needed. We use Selenium for that, and Beautiful Soap for extracting all the data which we need. Okay, and we have given them internet access as well. That runtime, if you want to go and check anything, so you have Exa API, you can use Google API for that as well. I think Exa is open source. As far as I remember, few calls are free, so I use that. Google also maybe free, but then I'm not sure um, I'm not sure that why I did not use Google. Exa was pretty simple to use. In Google, you need to fill form and then do a lot of stuff. Probably it's more complex to get a key process is that's why I think XI I used, but it is equivalently important, and you can switch between those APIs if you want. DuckDuckGo as well. So over here, my industry analyst is analyzing medium.com, and it is going to write all the information that what it encountered. So it says it encountered while loading the website favicon. I think it's icon name, favorite icon. So it was, could be that time it was loading issue or something, I'm not sure. And then over here, this is the action which is happening. Industry analysis agent being called, thought that what it is thinking at this point of time, what needs to be done, which tools it is going to use. So this is the tool it is calling, and then it is going to medium.com, the URL, and it is giving us all the information, what exactly it is doing, and the final answer. Okay. And then so on and so forth. Industry experts. I told you, right? There is an expert who reads the industry at runtime. So this is going to use the search tool, EXA search tool. It is going to go on the CISA government website to read about best practices in cybersecurity and other relevant topics. So it is going to gather all the information. It is going on the DataGuard website, um, Bitdefender website to learn more about the protocols and I think it while data guard this page was not found at runtime, so it will do the job on the different websites. Okay. um, and then with some changes, the industry analyst is calling the get contained method. By the way, this is not controlled by you. Crew AI or LLM is using and doing everything. And over here, it is storing all the information. Industry agent or industry analyst is still looking for more information with respect to the current um, security guidelines, so that it is up to date with the relevant information, and it goes through in loop. So you might see this is searching for more information, going into loops, making a lot of attempts. Some of the websites are not accessible, but it is trying to do something with some other website. Then if this is not accessible, then that. So you can see a lot of information. Industry analyst is more important over here than anything else, right? Because that is the one agent which is going to evaluate whether, um, in a way, evaluation means it is going to give the context that what is right and what is wrong with respect to today's date, or the relevant information available on the official websites. Okay. And you can see that agent is taking a lot of time, and that agent, as I said, it's more important than anything else. So for a lot of hustle, it took a lot of time, the industry agent, and then whatever information it gathered, it is going to create one document file, which is it is then going to pass on the different agents which we are going to use. Okay. So front end security agents, again, um, uh, the choice of call and choice of tool use is autonomous, because so it's on the LLM. Okay. And then for example, let's go front end security agent. So it has search tool. It is going to query this medium.com robot.txt. So if robot.txt is available, okay, then it is going to check that what is the content of that. And then if it is facing any issue, it will retry a few times, and then still face an issue, it is going to store the final outcome, that what exactly happened, and then it is going to check for the security txt file, so on and so forth. So this is a very big log. I cannot cover that in one go, but this is going to call the tool itself, agent itself, um, but it is focusing on the task and the goal at the same time. And this is extracting all the available information with respect to medium.com. And and at the end, what basically happens is we'll get this kind of report, which I have just displayed over here. um, Vulnerability report. So it is saying that according to CV21, I don't know what this number, it's representing some of the article which is with respect to this vulnerability guide. So it is saying these are the problems and how to stop steps to solve these vulnerabilities. Okay, what you can do. So this is going to publish this kind of a report on your website, that what is good, what is bad. Again, you can change and um, use which one you need according to your organizational needs, or maybe your website's need. But yeah, in a nutshell, so this is going to provide you this pretty report, and this is um, possibly one of the use case which you can deploy directly in your real world scenario. And this is fully autonomous. Uh, we are just writing the code, and rest of the things are done by the Crew AI agent. You can, by far, if you have observed, I have not added any memory in this demo thingy, but in real world we have memory introduced as well. um, and this is, you can say, the when I introduce the memory, what I'm going to do is basically is I'm going to store all the relevant information, like which agent performed like what. Maybe for example, memory would help us. For example, tomorrow you want to call medium.com once again, right? So our previous information will help us analyze how and which all issues are fixed or not. One example, there could be multiple ways to look at it. I have written a detailed article on this when I was researching. So again, not exactly the same, but almost similar. Um, Almost similar. So this is the code and everything you'll find here. I'll give the GitHub repo as well if you, I don't know how to share that, but I'll share with you if you ping me on LinkedIn, or I don't know if ATA, GTR have any email list or something, I'll just share with them. So this is going to provide you all the information, relevant information, which I've created, and it's working in real time. So with that, I'll stop for now for any Q&A. I know I've spoken a lot on this. If any Q&A, um,
I have a
happy to.
question, Tony.
Yes.
Yeah. what is the cost of this implementation? How much effort it required to build this in first place? Something from your experience.
Cost means you need the API calls cost. Okay. If you are using open source LLMs, then it may become low. But I think the cost of AI has become low on the lower, going on the lower side itself. So I think it's not that much costly. $5 to $6, $10 somewhere. You will even not that. I think $1 or $2 for every website. I think you need if you're using OpenAI. If you're using open source, not that as well. To write the code, I mean, obviously you may need 1 or 2 days to implement on your real world website. But yeah, that's up to your speed and how you want your tailor made and what else you need to do. How much exposure you have of cybersecurity. You may beautify this more than me, okay? Because I have very limited knowledge on some of the security sites. So I hope I'm able to answer that.
Yeah, that was from cost perspective. I would like to know from effort point of view, like how much time did it require to come up with
See,
something
when
like this?
yeah, when I was working, as I said, I mean, I was talking to one of my friend who is cybersecurity expert. Um, so first because I already have some knowledge of the agentic frameworks and everything. So my choice of Crew AI was I already told you because LangGraph was just nurturing at that point of time. And today, if I have to go for, I'll go for LangGraph. Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, but implementation it took me around a week's time because I writing those prompts and talking to these security people just to evaluate everything if I'm doing right or not. So time was taking on that side more. If you create one agent, it's mostly you are going to replicate with the context being changed, right? So think of like click element method you have created, and then you are just passing the locator or something, and you're calling it, right? So now get text will be similar to that, right? You just copy paste your next method, you modify with respect to your need, and your touch and go, right? Similar to that. Once you create one agent, you test it very well, then you take that as baseline. You simply change your context, your goal and task, which is English only, right? We are not, you have to be good in um, assigning those goals, and that's why I took the help of um, cybersecurity agent. So starting from scratch, I mean, effort was of 1 day, but a lot of collaboration needed. So it took me around a week to implement this solution. And then I added memory and all those stuff, which was the second phase of it. Which again, I mean, was not that time consuming because my groundwork was almost ready. Now I had to add only memory so that the only collaboration with cybersecurity team was that what exactly they want in future to be stored. Because that call I cannot take. I mean I can take, but ideally that should come from that team who is going to use that.
Sure, that answers my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Tony, thanks a lot for this wonderful session. You mentioned about Crew AI, and
Mhm.
you also mentioned about LangGraph. There is
Yes.
also something called as AutoGen. Can you use AutoGen as well? So how do you compare? Like when now that you mentioned, can you
Mhm.
give some little insights on between these three or maybe between the two? What would have made you choose LangGraph or moreover Crew AI? Are there
Yes.
benefits or pitfalls?
See, it's very common, like whether to use Selenium or Playwright, right? It's almost similar to that in a way. But in a way, I'm saying not exactly, but yeah. See, Crew AI, where, so modern day, go for LangGraph. I would recommend, okay, because it's more powerful, more um, inbuilt features are available over there, and it's built on top of LangChain as well. Um, Crew AI, what what is the best benefit of Crew AI is when you have the independent agents and your state doesn't matter. Okay, in LangGraph, state matters the most. So, for example, let's say you are one of the agent has performed some task today, and another agent has to wait for till tomorrow, uh, so that it can see what is the state of output of, let's say, task one or agent one. Okay, or you need a human loop anyway, right? For example, so LangGraph out of box gives you these functionalities now, um, which are more powerful, where state oriented memory management is efficient in, far efficient in LangGraph. Crew AI, if you have static task wherein you, when I say static, I mean individual goals. Okay, they don't rely on each other too much. So in those cases, Crew AI very simple to implement. LangGraph, when I say simple, I mean both are simple, but LangGraph have out of box method for it. Crew AI is by definition it goes simple. So if you see an agent, it will take three methods, done and dusted. Okay, if you go for LangGraph, those are very implicit in some cases. So um, without an example, I'm not sure if I can go in details, and that otherwise will confuse people. But if you are going for uh, anything which is independent of each other, then Crew AI is could be the ideal choice. Or LangGraph, if you are more, you need more control, you need more human in loop, you need more state oriented or state based, um, state dependent solutions. So go for LangGraph.
Okay. All right.
Right, in this case, there was nothing called as, okay, let's click this website and wait for some time, somebody will review something and we'll do that, right? So Crew AI did the job, right? But imagine I hit the medium.com website, and I want to observe for whole full day, and then I want my agent to act tomorrow with human in loop capabilities, let's say, right? In Crew AI also you can implement human in loop, but LangGraph by default gives you those kind of ways, and very flexible enough. So flexible in terms of you can in Crew AI you need to define the wait. In LangGraph you can default use those out of box methods to wait, or kind of a stub driver you can directly implement over there. But over here you need to code that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have more time, Harpreet? Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, we have 3 minutes.
Okay. So, when we talk about Crew AI and some tools like that, are there any limitations that you would like to share, and what could be solution? Like, for example, if the task involve large amount of data, would it work, or do we need to then go with some kind of other MCPs or RAGs or something like that? Or is there an inbuilt something which basically is capable of handling all such kind of challenges?
See, there are a lot of limitations. First and foremost limitation is, when you build something autonomous, okay, you might have seen in the demo itself that once you hit the run button, everything goes out of your control. Okay, agent will do what it needs to do, whatever tools have it in hand, basically. So, in a way, you are leaving everything on AI to decide and to act which tool to use, which tool not to use. Okay, this is the biggest limitation, and this is in a way multi-sided sword as well. I mean, because that's only people want, right? They don't want to invest a lot of time. AI should do things. It and on the other side of it is it may hallucinate. Okay, it may go completely wrong. So this is the biggest pain point in AI. The second point you spoke about the memory. So in Crew AI, mostly you go for the memory oriented frameworks, which I stated that these are the vector databases in a nutshell, which stores your information. So for example, Chat GPT has its own memory, right? You might have come across. I'm using that example because everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it stores your information, but what and how it stores? So it uses a mixture of vector databases and graph databases. Okay, with graph databases, it stores the information like Aditya is his name, the person who is using me, and Aditya does this thing. So in graph, this stores information, and in vector databases, it stores your summary of your prompts, It stores summary of what you usually do in a day to day with ChatGPT, what kind of questions you ask. So it makes an um, kind of a view of you, and it stores in vector databases. Okay, and these vector databases are the memories. So the limitation again, what is on vector databases? Limitation is similar, which is applicable over here. It's a semantic search. So it is not an accurate search. It is
Okay.
not exact search. So
Mm-hmm.
that is one limitation. Now these limitations can be overcome with human in loop, as I said. So LangGraph will provide you out of box things. In Crew AI, they also provide, but you need to code little more because their all agenda and all focus of Crew AI was autonomy. Okay, autonomy. But LangGraph, when they build LangChain, they saw that there's a problem, that because human always want the control, right? Mostly. I mean, lazy, don't want to do work, but want the control. Okay, so that's where LangGraph solves both the problems. You have the control and you can be lazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yes. Thank you so much, Tony. Over to you, Harpreet and team.
Yeah, this helps. I think we don't see any more questions on the chat. Um, it's already 2:50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Team, maybe would you want to splash the slide as well? Yeah, thank you so much, Tony. I think there's
Shall I leave
some
the room?
lag.
Yes. No, you can stay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yashaswini
Thank you.
want to basically bring up the screen. Whoever is the hosting team, can you show the screen and
Yeah.
bring the thank you slide, please?
Oh, okay. By the way, if you have not understood anything, that means no question, or you understood everything in
It
any
was
of
a great
shape,
session.
Yeah, it was
It
any
was a
shape
wonderful.
or
great
form,
session.
please, I am available on LinkedIn. Okay, disturb me as much as you can.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks.
Yeah,
Sure. Thank you, Tony. It was a great session and it covered the entire journey. That was my personal experience, wherein it covered starting with concepts till the end, showing how the agent is being installed with all the tools and then what kind of results. So it was the entire story covered. And thanks for answering all the question answers as well. Thank you so much.
sure. Thank you. Have a
Yeah,
nice day, guys.
you too.